You've been praying 5 times a day, giving charity, trying your best. And then you look at your neighbor. He hasn't stepped inside a masjid in years. He drinks, he lies, he ignores Allah completely.
And yet, he just bought a new car. His business is booming. His family is laughing and vacationing while you're barely making ends meet. And somewhere deep inside, a question you're almost too afraid to ask starts forming. Why? Why is Allah giving him all of this? That question is not weakness. That question is not disbelief. That question has been asked by some of the most sincere believers who ever lived. And if you don't get the right answer, it can slowly destroy your faith. So let's talk about it honestly. The first thing you need to understand is that wealth in this world has absolutely nothing to do with how much Allah loves you. Read that again. Nothing. Allah gives wealth to those He loves and those He doesn't. He gives health to the righteous and the wicked. He gives children, status, and success to believers and disbelievers alike. Why? Because this world, the entire dunya, is worth less to Allah than a single wing of a mosquito. That's not poetry. That's a direct hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Allah said if this dunya was worth even that much to Him, He would not have given a single sip of water to a disbeliever. Think about that. The entire world, every skyscraper, every gold mine, every ocean, worth less than a mosquito's wing. So when someone who doesn't pray gets a mansion, Allah is not honoring them. He's simply giving away something He doesn't value. But now comes the part that most people miss entirely. There's a word in the Quran. A concept so serious, so terrifying when you truly understand it, that the companions of the Prophet used to fear it more than poverty. That word is Istidraj. It comes from the Arabic root meaning to gradually pull something closer, step by step, without them realizing what's happening. And Allah mentions it explicitly. He says in Surah Al-Araf, "Those who deny our signs, we will gradually lead them where they do not know. We give them time, and our plan is firm." Istidraj is when Allah gives a person who is running away from Him more. More money, more comfort, more success. And with every blessing, instead of turning back, they go further. They get more arrogant, more distracted, more lost. The blessings become the trap. The wealth becomes the chain. And the terrifying part, they feel completely fine. They feel like they're winning. They look in the mirror and think, I don't need God. Look at how well I'm doing without Him. That feeling, that dangerous, intoxicating feeling, is the punishment beginning. You see, Allah has 2 ways of dealing with someone He loves and someone He doesn't. When Allah loves a believer, He tests them. He squeezes them. He puts them through fire, not because He's abandoned them, but because He's preparing them. He's purifying them. Every hardship that hits a believer wipes away sins, raises ranks, and builds a closeness to Allah that no comfort could ever create. The Prophet said, the greatest reward comes with the greatest trial. When Allah loves somebody, He tests them. And the people tested the most severely in history were the prophets, the best human beings who ever lived. But when Allah leaves someone, truly leaves them, He stops testing them. He just gives and gives and gives. No friction, no consequences, no wake-up call. Just smooth sailing straight toward the edge of a cliff they cannot see. Now ask yourself, which one is actually the punishment? Think about a child. A wise parent sometimes says no. Sometimes they ground their child, restrict them, let them feel the consequences of their choices. Because they care. They're invested. They want that child to grow. But a parent who has given up on a child? They stop correcting. They stop pushing. They let them do whatever they want. The child thinks they've won freedom. They don't realize they've been abandoned. This is the relationship between Allah and His creation, expressed in a way that your heart can feel. And here's what makes this even more profound. The believer who is struggling, who is working hard, staying patient, holding on to prayer even when life is difficult, they are building something. Every single morning they wake up for Fajr when it's cold and hard, that's going into an account. Every time they give from what little they have, it's growing. Every tear they cry in sujood is being recorded by the one who never forgets a single atom's weight of good. They're not losing, they're investing into something that does not crash, does not burn, does not get taxed, and never expires. The person flooding his account with worldly success while ignoring Allah, where is that going? It stays here, all of it. You've seen it yourself. You've seen wealthy people die. You've watched powerful men get lowered into a hole in the ground just like everyone else. The car stays. The house stays. The empire stays. And they go alone to answer for every single moment they were given and what they chose to do with it. The Quran gives us a parable that is so vivid, it's almost painful to read. Allah describes a man given 2 lush gardens, rivers flowing between them, fruit of every kind, incredible wealth. And this man looks at his garden and says, I don't think this will ever perish. He even says, I don't think the hour is coming. And if it does, I'll find something even better. His believing companion warns him, tells him, say MashaAllah, recognize this is from Allah, don't let this deceive you. The man doesn't listen. And then, in one night, it's gone. The vines collapsed. The water dried up. He stood there with nothing, turning his hands over in grief, saying, I wish I had not associated anything with my Lord. The regret. In one night, everything he built his identity on vanished. That story isn't from history. That story is playing out right now on your street, in your city, across the world. So what should you do with this understanding? First, never measure Allah's love for you by what you own. Ever. The wealthiest people in Makkah were the ones fighting the Prophet with everything they had. And the people with almost nothing, Bilal, Sumayya, Khabab, were the ones Allah was closest to. The measurement of closeness to Allah is not in your bank account. It's in the state of your heart and the consistency of your connection with Him. Second, when you see someone who doesn't pray living well, don't feel envy. Feel something closer to concern, because you don't know what is being prepared for them. You don't know if what looks like a blessing is actually a leash being extended. You cannot see what's coming at the end of that road. And third, hold on to your prayer like it is your oxygen. Because it is. That 5 times a day connection is not a ritual. It is a lifeline. It is the one thing that keeps you in the awareness of Allah, which is the only real protection you have in a world full of beautiful traps. The person who doesn't pray is not free. They are disconnected from their purpose, from their protection, from the only one who actually controls every breath they take and every coin that lands in their hand. You have something they don't. You have the conversation. You have the relationship. You have a Lord who still calls you 5 times a day, every single day, because He hasn't given up on you. The question was never, why does Allah give wealth to those who don't pray? The real question is, what is Allah giving you that no amount of money in the world can buy?